positively. That's important so that, whatever it is, aspirations you have already termed out for your day will turn out fine. So it's a beautiful day regardless of the hurdles and the challenges and the queues at the filling station and the high price of domestic food items. It is a good day. We must trudge on. It is important, all right? Welcome to another edition of Issues in the News right here on Voice of the People at 90.3 FM. Mary is making me laugh. Mary, we have to cope now. What do we do? Okay, so what is the conversation today? You know how we do it on this program, right? It's tailored towards giving insight into various aspects of the Nigerian polity, meaning every sector that makes up the country is discussed here, and intellectual and professionally grounded personalities give in-depth analysis of these issues, which in turn elicits your reaction, and that's precisely what we do every day. So what is the conversation today? What purview do I intend to hear from you? How is your perspective going to be tailored towards the program that we will be talking about this morning right here on Issues in the News? Before I comment, I would implore you to go on YouTube. We stream live. Every program you listen to on this terrestrial radio station, we stream live on YouTube. So it means that you do not get to miss out anything. All right. You can actually decide to listen back later at any time in the day. And then all you need to do is go to the playlist on YouTube, search for the program that you love to listen. We have so many programs. We have sports, we have news, business reports, you have business around town, you have a front page review, you have matters, you have the evening rush, you have all the programs right on there. So click on any of those programs right on the playlist and you see several episodes and listen to the episode of your choice, so you're not left out even if you do not get to participate completely right now. However, if you're listening to me right now and you're in the office, you cannot call in on the program or sending your messages via WhatsApp. All you need to do is go on YouTube, on your system, your phone, and type Voice of the People 90.3 FM right there in the search bar. You will see us and you'll see the program Issues in the News streaming live, so you can be part of the program virtually. Follow through, put in your earpiece so your boss doesn't catch you and say you're not paying attention to what you're supposed to be doing. So you can follow the program in that process. Now let us start off. The Senate is to grill CBN chiefs tomorrow. Why? The Senate will on Friday grill two deputy governors of the Central Bank of Nigeria over the cash withdrawal limit policy unveiled by the Apex Bank on Tuesday. The Red Chamber planned to seek clarifications on the new directive, which restricts over-the-counter cash withdrawal by individuals and organizations by 100,000 naira and 500,000 naira respectively per week. Okay, so individuals can withdraw 100,000 naira per week and 500,000 naira, that is for organizations, per week. It also limits cash withdrawals via point-of-sale machines and automated teller machines to 20,000 naira daily and 100,000 naira weekly, respectively. These are the new policies that will be implemented, in fact, enforced from the 9th of January 2023. Now, if you do not understand what automated teller machines are, they're the ATMs. So if you want to withdraw money from that per week, or per day, it's 20,000 naira daily, then it means that for a week you can only withdraw 100,000 naira as an individual. All right. So according to the memo, which was signed on Tuesday, by the CBN's Director of Banking Supervision, Haruna Mustafa, withdrawals above the thresholds would attract processing fees of 5% and 10% respectively for individuals and corporate entities going forward. All right. In addition, third-party checks above 50,000 naira shall not be eligible for OTC payment, while extant limits of 10 million naira on clearing checks still remain. The circular also directed banks to load only 200 naira and lower denominations into their ATMs and restricted withdrawal to 20,000 naira per day from ATMs. The policy, which will become effective on January 9, 2023, has generated widespread criticisms in every sector, in every quarter. But the CBN clarified yesterday that POS operators could apply for waivers. Deliberating on the policy on the floor of the Senate on Wednesday, senators said there was a need to debate the policy on the floor of the Red Chamber. However, the Senate President Ahmad Lawan directed the Senate Committee on Banking to grill the two reappointed deputy governors of the Central Bank of Nigeria Aisha Ahmed, and Edward Adamu, who will be screened on Friday on the new cash withdrawal policy. So this is a conversation we're having this morning on Issues in the News. It's concerning this new policy that intends to be implemented by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Now, we need to understand what is the reason for this policy implementation? Exactly what is driving these initiatives? Did they think of the challenges and the variables these would have in terms of an adverse effect before disclosing it to the general public and making it to be a stamped-on policy to be implemented? So, in order to understand, again, I'm not an economist, all right? I may not understand how the symmetrics of these things go, but I need to speak with an expert, someone who understands what the economic downturn or implication or whether the positive effect of this whole thing will be. And I spoke with him earlier this morning, and that is Muda Yusuf. He was the former LCCI director, that is the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry director, and he is currently the chief executive officer, Center for the Promotion of Private Enterprise. Okay, so let's take a listen. Let's listen to him try to clarify what this means and what the adverse implications could portend going forward.
Policy on cash withdrawal restriction is going to create a whole lot of problems for businesses, especially small businesses. Many of them still do a lot of business in cash, particularly those in the informal sector, and they constitute the majority as far as trade and commerce is concerned. There are a few of them that, for cultural or religious reasons, don't believe in using the banks. There are some of them who, out of experience, have lost trust or confidence in the electronic payment system. There are some of them, because of their literacy level, are not comfortable using the electronic payment system. If they are doing any transaction, they want to see the cash in their hand. So this policy is going to affect a whole lot of people in this segment of the economy. And this segment of the economy is a very, very critical segment of the economy because of the number of the people employed and because of their contribution to the economy. The distributive sector contributes about 16% to our GDP. In 2021, this trade and commerce sector contributed over 20 trillion to GDP. So this kind of policy is going to hurt the players in this sector. There's also the complaint by those who are in the POS business. You see, it's a growing business. It's a thriving business. So when we now have this limitation of 20,000 per day limit for POS transactions, for people who are doing a lot of transactions, this will also affect their business because many people don't go to bank, they go to these POS people. And now with the cost of things have become too expensive. A bag of rice is now about 50,000. If you want to buy a bag of rice and the rice seller says you should pay cash, go to the POS, you cannot withdraw more than once. More than 20,000 at a time. You know the implication of that. Then you have all people selling things like cattle. A good head of cattle is about 250,000. And many of all these cattle riders, many of them, you don't operate bank accounts. They don't want you to transfer. They want to see the physical cash. Then there are so many Nigerians that are in locations that are very remote, in rural areas, where there are no banks, where these network issues are very rampant, are not reliable. No? So for those people, how do you want them to operate? If you have this kind of very strict limit to cash withdrawal. So it's going to disrupt a whole lot of business. And there are people who have had a terrible experience with transfers. The transfer funds, the funds are not received. To get the thing resolved, you go to the bank, 1 day, 2 days, 1 week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, some of this transaction will still be hanging. So there's no prompt resolution of some of these problems. So because of all of this, I don't think we are ripe for the kind of drastic action that the CBN has proposed to take on this. And talking about cashless, this country has made enormous progress as far as this cashless policy is concerned. On a global scale, we are one of the best performers as far as the cashless economy is concerned. Our total money in the economy as at October was over 50 trillion. The cash component of money is only about 3.3 trillion. That's just about 6%. So what is the big deal? We are doing well already. There's a lot of transactions already taking place on POS platform. A lot is taking place on mobile transfer. A lot is taking place on electronic transfers. So the only small segment of the economy that are struggling and they are not yet on the platform, we need to give them time to come on board. But as a nation, we have made a lot of progress. So this alarm that we have so much money outside the banking system, you want to bring it into the banking system, that thing has no basis. Because 94% of money is already in the banking system. So I don't know what the problem is with the CBN. Some people say it's because of the politicians, they want to stop vote buying. You want to stop vote buying, must you disrupt the entire economy? Can't you find other ways to deal with that?
So do you think this policy that the CBN is implementing or wants to implement, which will take effect on the 9th of January 2023, will create a scenario where individuals will no longer save their monies in the bank anymore? They will no longer deposit their monies. They will start keeping money at home because they want to have easy access to cash when they need it.
Yeah, that will happen, definitely. I agree with you, it will happen. And it will work against the so-called financial inclusion that the CBN wants to achieve. CBN wants more people to come into the banking system. Now we have a policy that will scare people away from the banking system. That is what it is.
So,
because if you put your money there and you are not sure how easily you can bring it out, you better keep your money at home. I've seen people go to all these village markets outside of the city. There they sell grains in bags and all of that. They sell palm oil. These things sometimes run into millions. You know, some of these villages where they sell a lot of commodities. So how do you want such people to operate? So it will discourage them completely. You just pack all their money out and keep it at home. Which is the very opposite of what the CBN even wants to achieve.
So, sir, is it that the CBN's policy committee did not think about all these variables before disclosing the implementation of this policy?
They didn't think about it. And it's very typical. This is how they came up with the idea of redesigning the Naira and saying that people start money at home, blah, 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 blah. Spent a lot of money printing the thing. They are going to now begin to worry about how to distribute the thing, moving the cash all over the country, how people in the remote areas retain the money. I mean, sometimes they don't think through some of these policies. And it's because there's no engagement, there's no discussion with stakeholders, there's no discussion even among government agencies themselves to look at the wider implications of policy. That is what is happening. The CBN said because it's autonomous, it can just wake up and do just anything. No matter how unrealistic it is. I mean, autonomy is not absolute. You have to consider implications. You know?
So that was Muda Yusuf. Like I told you, he's an economist and he was from the former director of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, giving us clarity on what the policy implementation will portend economically and for Nigerians. And if they thought about what this would constitute, if they intend to go about it, what exactly is their reason for implementing this policy? We need to understand. We know that there is endemic corruption in the country at the moment. Possibly that could be one of the reasons why they decided that having to put up these limitations and checks when it comes to withdrawals would curb that or possibly help them monitor things. But have they forgotten that Nigerians know how to go back to the traditional means of saving money? In fact, you have most politicians who do not keep monies in the banks. They keep their monies in septic tanks, first new septic tanks. They bury their monies on the ground. You just wouldn't know. They invest this monies on real estate, and once you go to such properties, nobody has rented them. Nobody has used those properties. You just get into those properties and see rooms stacked with cash. So exactly how will this implementation help to positively impact in any way? Exactly. It's only the common man who would definitely get affected by this. So I would like to hear from you what you think, if this policy is a good thing in terms of whatever it is they're trying to put a check on. I have Mr. Elvis Elimehele via the telephone. You know him. He's part of us right here. He would help us understand a little bit, again, from his own perspective, what exactly this policy implementation would portend, and possibly share some experiences as to how this could either affect or positively infuse when it comes to the economy. Mr. Elvis, good morning.
Good morning, Esther. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Welcome to the program. How do you feel now?
It's been a while.
Yes,
well done.
It's been a while.
Yeah, thank you for these trending issues. I think since yesterday this matter came up, Nigerians are so worried.
About it.
You cannot underestimate that worriness that came out upon Nigerians because, Mr. Yusuf just said this morning, the most part of the economy of a nation depend on these small-scale industries.
True.
And Nigerians are even grabbing their own, whether it's favorable or not, in spite of what is going on in the nation. Nigerians are trying their best to see that they keep themselves afloat, with this as a survival means. But some of these laws that are coming from the federal government again try to drag down the hands of those that are trying to survive. A situation where somebody, most of the biggest business now Nigerians are going into now is this POS business. Everywhere you go to, like Esther, sometimes when last 2 months when I was in my state, there is even no bank ATM that works in my town. Everybody is going to this POS business. You understand? And you see people coming to make withdraw like 100,000, 150,000. In fact, when I was at home, I was withdrawing as much as because I was doing some projects. Now, so with this kind of law now, it means somebody, like, if you have such project on at hand, you will be stranded when you get to some remote part of this nation. You get what I'm saying? You'll be stranded because the person that you are even going to patronize as the POS operator does not even have as much as such to give you to start with, because except when they said they are going to look into this POS operators, I think the CBN should be able to look at that and give them a kind of leverage and give them a kind of relief on this law. Otherwise, that business will be completely dead. And when that business dies, you know how many people will be thrown into the labor market again, thrown into how to survive daily. At least they are making small gain from it. And some of them are used to keep their family. Do you even know, Esther? I interviewed one person who operates that business in my town. She told me that she has about 4 outlets.
Wow.
Which means she employs some people to be in those outlets. You understand? So those people also make a little out of it and be able to keep their family. So if overnight this kind of business is just granted with this kind of law from CBN, it will be it turn to something else. So I look at a situation where sometimes you use some of these POS. They said the services is declined and you are deducted.
That's true. It happens.
You say decline.
There's a bank. There's a bank.
What it takes for you to get that money reversed.
Now there's a bank guilty
I fell into such problem at home. So now the network is not even favorable to this kind of cashless program that the country is talking about. Yeah, it's a good idea, but have we developed to that extent? Sometimes your money is stranded. You are stranded. Your money is somewhere, and you cannot get it. They tell you 14 working days. 14 working days will graduate to 20, 21 or 28 working days. I think there should, if we want to get into this kind of cashless economy like they suggested as from January 9, it should be taken gradually. It should not just be that you just impose it on all of us at a time. First of all, we have to look at our telecommunication network and the network. We have to look at our level of literacy in this nation. Then we have to look at how available are even these jobs, because the jobs is not there. That's why you see people almost every door you have a canopy POS. Then if you now decide to bring in this kind of law that will send so many people away from this business, it will also become an issue to Nigerians. Then you have to even look at how affordable these people, some of them start this business with just 50,000, 100,000, and now the person that is coming to patronize them will just come and clear probably 100,000 or 50,000, as the case may be. So the whole of that day, the person will be stranded. The operator will be stranded. He cannot attend to another person again. So how much gain is he going to make in that will sustain the family and sustain even the business for as it were? So I am looking at a situation that when these people get to the National Assembly, as they are being invited, these new directors that are going to the National Assembly should be able to marshal out something with the directors that CBN should come up and pull out some certain businesses out of this law so that they can still be afloat. I like the idea, so that these politicians that have turned the Nigerian money to like a piece of paper, they will now do, especially this election period, that you begin to see money. That's why it's supposed to use that kind of circulation. It would have been good.
Mr. Elvis, I was thinking, can you hear me, Mr. Elvis? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Mr. Elvis?
For the low people in the society.
Can you hear me, Mr. Elvis?
Not the bank MDs, they know the bank directors and managers. So some people hold them. They will go through the bank and do whatever they want to do. It's only you and I, they will tell you, you cannot withdraw.
Mr. Elvis, I want to ask a question. What about
20,000? Imagine you are driving on your.
Hello, Mr. Elvis. Can you hear me?
The large people will not want to hear transfer.
Mr. Elvis, can you hear me?
They don't get transfer. They want to see cash. Then the pass is as much as 30,000, 40,000. You are running the bank there. You cannot get more than 20.
Okay, it's like the network can't. Mr. Elvis is not hearing me. He's just talking. I want to ask him a question concerning the unbanked, those who are in the rural communities, especially in the villages, in the hinter communities. I know that there is insecurity right now. There's a lot of thieving going on. So most of our elderly parents who really do not know how to use the banking system go about it the traditional way. That's another major thing I was also considering. Now, it's obvious that most of these people do not have, bank accounts. And if they do, they possibly have to send their wards to help them withdraw money. Now, an instance where something like this is on ground and a ward wants to send an amount of money to their family at home, possibly more than 100,000 naira in a day, could be for any emergency situation, and they can't send it, or even if it's able to go through, how do their elderly parents or elderly guardians, whoever it is that is in need of that money as an emergency, gets to get the money that particular day, especially all the money? So if, for example, there is a health challenge and what is required for that health challenge is a surgery, and there's an amount of money that needs to be paid as deposits before that surgery can commence, then what happens? That's basically it. What exactly transpires then? So that's the question I'm trying to ask Mr. Elvis. I'm calling him back, so I possibly hope that he heard the question I'm asking, because in this particular scenario, with these limitations being put in place, it's dangerous actually to think about it, especially in times of emergencies. When there is an emergency, how do we handle that? And of course, is it possible that before they enforce this on the 9th of January, is it possible that they would try as much as possible to extend the period? I think that's another thing that we need to consider. They extending the period of this implementation. Hopefully, after the Senate grills them tomorrow, there will be some changes, or rather than having to go about it on that particular date, then maybe they could extend the date. Hello, Mr. Elvis. Welcome back online.
Yeah,
So
sorry, the line went
I
off.
was speaking with you. You were not hearing me. I was asking you questions, but you kept on talking,
Okay.
and you were not hearing
Okay.
what I was
Okay.
saying. So I called you back, but I was asking, have we considered the unbanked, those who do not have bank accounts, especially some of our elderly parents in the village who stay in the communities, and most of them we do know that they do not have bank accounts. It's most possibly some of their teenage wardens who stay around them that help to withdraw money from the banks, you know. And so what if there is an emergency, especially health wise, and there's an amount of money that needs to be deposited before any operation or surgery can go on, and it's beyond 100,000 naira? What then happens?
Yes, this is why I was saying that I hope something meaningful comes out of this deliberation between the National Assembly and the directors that are going to meet them to scrutinize and streamline this matter. You know, the unbanked Nigerians are more than the banked Nigerians. You know that,
Yes.
and a situation where the unbanked will not even hear that if you keep your money in the bank, you cannot withdraw more than 20,000. It will further discourage them so much. You know, you get what I'm saying? Say, I'm not going. No, they say you cannot even because the way it will be related to them, it is not even that you cannot withdraw more than 20,000. That you cannot even withdraw your money. That's the way they will understand it. So this one also is also a threat to the economy and even to the security of the people that will not decide to be keeping their money at home. You understand?
Yes.
So this is one of the reasons why I said I don't know how the CBN came up with this. It could be a very good plan, but it is not just going to be too drastic. Now from 9th of January, I don't think it's enough for a lot of sensitization and a lot of Nigerian awareness for Nigerians to be able to know what to do. And I also pray that these people that are doing this POS business, they should find a way to take them out of this so that they can still be able to cope with their business. A POS operator withdraws only 100,000 naira in a day. One person may come and say, I want to withdraw 100,000.
That's true.
It happens in most POS. Then, which means how much gain is he going to make in that 100,000 naira that day if one person clears it? And it's like he's packing up for the whole day. The business will not continue. So I think the CBN and the directors and whoever the formulation of this policy should work out something for this kind of small-scale industries. This small-scale enterprise that you find POS almost in every home as you drive out now. If outside Lagos, you discover that, like I told you in my town, ATM doesn't work. They have about 9 banks.
You can imagine.
I have not been able to 9 banks. I'm talking of 3 generational, this 3rd generation bank that you can begin to talk of, but their ATM never functions. So everybody that will have to do business in that town goes to a POS. Like I was saying, I said POS operators open branches. They have outlets run that they employ people and give them money on a daily basis, and they bring return at the end of the day. So it has become a very big business. For that business to just be taken off because of one policy that just came, it will not spare too good for Nigerians, especially as this economy crunch Nigerians are going through, trying to look for every means to survive. I just believe that the CBN and the National Assembly will be able to work out something to relieve Nigerians from the next struggle, the next stress that we are going to use to start 2023. So many things are now being loaded into 2023.
Yes,
I pray we'll be able to come out of it.
That's true. Then something also, I witnessed something yesterday while I was coming to work. You may consider it to be unrelated. So you remember there was a time these commercial bus drivers decided to go on strike because of the very insurmountable amount of monies that they have to pay, several levies and whatnot, where nobody is telling them precisely how these monies are being used or what benefits these monies they're paying for would be for them. So right now, I think I discovered, when you're coming from Oshodi, where these buses usually pack to, drop the passengers or, pick up passengers. And what they do now is that those guys, they usually try to run after these bus conductors.
Bus drivers.
So what they now do now is they'll throw the money at them. They will throw the money. So, when they do that, the money would fly on the road. Do you know that I saw 2 vehicles almost crushed 2 of these guys because they wanted to pick the money on the road? It was terrible. I was
such a busy road. Such a busy road.
So it now happened to be that there was no traffic. The road was just kind of free. And vehicles were just plying. They were plying. So these bus conductors, as they're moving, and those guys are running after them, they'll just fling the money. They'll throw it. The breeze will take it off. So sometimes you see it in the middle of the road. Money was just being sprayed on the road yesterday. And those guys, because it's express, most of them, one of them almost got crushed. Like literally almost got crushed to pick 100 naira, 200 naira. I saw liters of cash on the road. I don't know if that's a new system now. These bus conductors are doing, okay, you want the money? Come and get it, right? That's it. I've paid. It was ridiculous, but at the same time, it's dangerous.
Esther, it all boils down to the way we have become so uncivilized in this part of the world as a result of money. Nigerians, can do anything. Imagine somebody risking his life on such a busy express because of 50 naira, 100 naira.
100 naira,
This is what we are talking about, that government has to step in. In the first instance, a good union do not collect money on the road in that manner. There should be a regulated form. The park, once you load in the park, you pay your dues and drive out. But these touts that are on the road, I want to believe that they are not members of Nigeria Union of Road Transport Workers. They are just touts on their own. These are the things we're talking about, that government supposed to come in, remove all these ones, and let those drivers who now come in and say they are doing it, then they will not be rounded up as criminals. Give these people something to do, remove them. Not only whether you have removed them from the road, you've given them something to do. Then those that insist that they want to be doing this, they'll be termed as criminals and be charged, be prosecuted. That's what a responsible government should do, to remove this. You know what it means to these drivers? The drivers are try to that method of throwing it at them, because sometimes when they get closer, they remove their wiper, they break their side mirror, they do all manner of things, beat up the conductor, tear the conductor's clothes. Now, let us just settle the devil with a long spoon and throw it at them while I continue on my business. That's what is running on. So a responsible government should think of how to clear these people away from the road. Let business flow. And let me also tell you, this part of policy have also checked such things. When there is little money in circulation, when you're talking about cashless economy, you also check such things. But the maturity, the civilization of checking all this, have we gotten it? With all this kind of, crude manner, we collect money, fold money. You see the way they fold Nigeria naira when they are with a lot of sweat on their hand and all that. This money, even if it comes out of the bank today as meat, before the end of today, it's already mutilated because of the way it's handled anyhow. So these are issues that the CBN should begin to think of how to,
but Mr. Elvis,
the various governments,
Mr. Elvis, I think if at all they want to regulate that process of physical cash, when it comes to boarding commercial vehicles, it's a long way, because it means it's a long way. It means that these bus drivers would have to have their own POS, which is registered to the bank. Passengers will have to always pay their money via the POS, and besides to pay money, there's an amount of money to pay, because they usually pay some levies, some tax from whatever deposit that enters into their bank, and there's a certain amount of money. So I don't know how that will be possible.
Yes, Esther, it can be done. It can be done, and it will only take a little bit of, if the union is responsible, National Union of Road Transport Worker, is for them to teach their people. Those people that operate with them. Do you understand?
Yes.
I was somewhere I was in a town in India, and I saw that, Esther, you can't believe it. Keke Marwa has a meter in this town. I'm talking of Bangalore City in India. Keke Marwa has a meter. By the time you enter that keke, the meter is activated. The number of kilometers it drives you. When it gets to that destination, the meter will reel out your charges and tell you this is the number of kilometers that you have covered, and this is your amount. And you don't even need to dip your hand in your pocket. You just swipe your card on that meter, and the payment is done straight. You understand what I'm saying? It only needs regulation and lecture and being responsive and disciplined. I was surprised. This was in India. This one is not in US. This one is not in UK. I saw that city. I said, so things are so regulated like this. So the onus fall on the National Union of Road Transport Workers. If we want to move forward with the CBN and government people, that policies of this nature, you have to start it from the scratch, not just coming 3 weeks' time. You are going to impose it. You have to teach people how to do this, all these buses to get this meter. If you don't have this meter, you cannot do your business. That's what it means. Because the passengers at the end of the trip are going to swipe their card through this meter, and the amount that is there will just be paid and go straight to the account. You get there, at the end of the day, whatever amount you want to take home from whatever is in your account, you just withdraw it and take it home. It is not that you now begin to fold naira on your hand, begin to use it to gallivant the whole town, and be sprayed on the road, and you are running after it on a busy express to pick it. So there are so many things to be put in place. There are so many things to be done. I think we have to begin to talk and begin to sensitize the government, begin to remind them that some of their policies policies come too much in a draconian form that Nigerians don't grab it before they start executing it. And sometimes most of these our fire brigade approach to policies always make them to fail. At the end of the day, say, oh, it is abandoned. Have you how many times they have talked of spraying naira in party? Has it worked? It has not worked because you have not told Nigerians, okay, this is Nigerians believe in this culture of, oh, I want to show off, I have money. Then bring out another area that is related to showing off that I have money instead of coming to throw it at parties, at people. Then it will work. Just come in and say, stop it. It's an offense. 3 years imprisonment. Have you seen anybody that is prosecuted? There is a law in it. Nobody is prosecuted because there is no alternative to, oh, do it this way since we have stopped this. So Nigerians continue with it. How many policemen can you use to police on a Saturday in Lagos alone, where you have over thousands of parties to start arresting people that are spraying money? These are the issues, Esther.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Elvis. I'll still leave you via the telephone so that we can, just in case there are questions that needs to be asked. So it's now time for you to be part of the conversation this morning. All you need to do is to call the number 0700 903 903 903. You can also send us a WhatsApp message on 0700 903 9039, as well as on YouTube. Sending your comments, like I told you earlier, we're streaming live at the moment, so you can send in your comments on YouTube. We would like to hear from you. Are you supporting this new CBN policy that intends to be implemented from the 9th of January 2023? Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you. I've been listening. This is my best radio station for the year.
Thank you.
I've been hearing your program every day if I'm working.
Thank you.
Now, I want to contribute.
Right.
Mr. Elvis, your guest, and the other guest, I love what both of them have said.
Thank you.
What CBN chooses cannot fit us, please. It can never help. Even as of yesterday, I went to bank to go and renew my ATM because I don't do transfer. I cannot be able to do it.
Wow.
I cannot be able to do it. Network was so hard, and now my card is now expired, and I have money in my account. So all these problems we are facing, it cannot help. They should do something for us, please. We are begging. Because we don't have the axe on our hands to go and fight them. We are begging them to help us.
Thank you. Thank you for. Thank you so much, and I can attest to what she just said as well. The same thing. If you want to use USSD to transfer or online banking, it's the same thing. You have issues with transferring most of the time, and it's usually when you really need to do the transfer as soon as possible to either pay for an item or pay for a service. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Can you turn down the audio of your radio, please? Turn it down completely.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning. Yes, your name and your location, please.
Yeah, please. In this matter.
Hello, your name and your location, please. Name and where you're calling us from, please. Hello. Okay. Hello. All right. Do call back 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call. You can also send us your WhatsApp message on 0700 903 9039. And of course, on YouTube, you can send in your comments as well if you've been following the conversation. Hello. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Name and location, please.
Yeah, Ike from Okota.
Ike from Okota, how are you? Ike, you sound like you're eating.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm all right. How are you too?
I'm fine. I'm okay.
Okay. All right. The level of poverty in this country made this administration, whatever they like, they will bring to the masses and people will accept it. But this one is not acceptable. It's not acceptable because all of them, they are in the government house. They are not spending money. They are not doing any contract work. The government, the Nigerians are feeding them. Nigerians are doing everything for them. So they don't know the hardship Nigerians are going through. That is why. If they know the hardship, they will not bring up this type of useless policy. This is useless policy. They should change it. They should change that policy because they know that internet, this thing is not working everywhere. Sometimes people will tell you that they are going to send money, they will buy something from you, they are going to transfer money. They will make fake something. You will see a lot of there is no money. How do you do that? Honestly, people are doing that kind of rubbish. They are doing it. So they know how to do it. Let them do it so that you favor Nigerians and not favor them alone. Thank you.
Thank you so much. 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call. Now, another way we can actually look at this is this. What if there's more sensitization, proper network integration done before the policy is implemented? If we want to look at the positive aspect through which this limitation of withdrawing cash, is coming from, that is from the CBN especially. If we want to look at some of the issues on ground and the challenges as to why they implemented that policy, is it possible that it could be something that is tenable only if they try as much as possible to ensure that we have a good network system that operates, and at the same time, people can access cash when they want to? Hello, good morning.
Hello,
good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Very good morning.
My name is Esther. Mary was Mary. Hello.
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 Hello. I can hear you.
Good morning. I said my name is Esther. Mary just finished though. So, but go ahead. What's your name?
Okay, my name is Akola. It's calling from Osheri.
All right, Dapo, go ahead.
Well, the new policy cannot work in Nigeria because transferring money to somebody, to another bank, from your bank to another bank is a very big problem. There was a time I went to a market and bought something of 15,000 naira.
Okay.
I transferred the money to the person, which, because I'm using an app, I showed the person my pay slip, how I transferred the money. He saw everything, but he couldn't get the alert. Even when he went to his own app to check whether the money entered, he did not see the money. I had to wait there like 2 hours before the money could get into his account. Which, if I'm in a hurry, I will not go anywhere. I will just remain there for nothing. So the new policy cannot work. Unless they are using the new policy to tackle the issue of vote buying. So after the election, they will devise it back.
Okay.
So that is just that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for calling. 0700 903 903 903. You can also send a WhatsApp message on 0700 903 9039. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Name and location, please.
My name is Daniel. I'm calling from Namban.
Daniel, can you project better? You sound laid back.
Huh?
I said, can you project well? You sound laid back. I can't hear you well.
Okay, let me cover.
Okay, please do, because he sounds like he's far from the phone. 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Name and location, please.
I'm David. I'm calling from Agopalasui.
All right, David, welcome to the program. Please go ahead.
Okay. I want to say this, the man was saying the other time. So I think there is a great one that is brought to Nigeria, though. But it's just the way of implementing it. That's just the issue. They have to enlighten Nigerians the more and make them understand the importance of this policy they are trying to bring. And I think we're in the 20th century, so technology should be vast. So they should bring more technology that can help people understand and make this policy a better one. So I think if they're able to do this, Naira is going to have a better value than the way it is now.
All right. So in other words, what you're saying, David, is that you like the policy, but they should extend the time of implementation from, rather than starting as soon as 9th of January.
Yes, actually.
All right. Thank you.
adjust the site for the implementation and give more education on it.
All right. Thank you, David. That was intellectually put. Thank you. 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. My name is Chi. I'm calling from Ikotu.
Chi from Ikotu.
Yeah.
All right, Chi, go ahead, please. I'm fine. How are you, Chi?
Good.
All right, go ahead.
About this new thing, this 20,000. This country, this Nigeria, the government as a whole, let them help us. At least we were the one that voted them for to become president or governor. After that, they will now be using us as a rag. Okay, now it's Christmas. 20,000. What can 20,000? Can you really buy a baby clothes? When you go to Lagos Island, you want to buy clothes for your family. How can you do that transaction? How will we do it? Please, I'm begging in the name of God. Let them come with a good thing that will help us. Do they even know how much is the transportation from this Lagos to the east? That they will tell us to be withdrawing 20,000 naira per day. Let them come with a good thing that will help us.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you. Thank you for calling, Chi. All right, 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How are you? This voice is familiar.
Yes, thank God. This is Mr. Joseph coming from Sweden.
Mr. Joseph, please go ahead.
Yes, we see this issue. To the bank. To my children that are schooling this.
Mr. Joseph, can you speak? Can you project better?
I said that since day before yesterday, my wife transferred money right from the bank to another bank to go and pay my children's house rent. So I'm talking to you now. The money has not reflected. They have not debited her. Neither have they debited my son. So in such a case, it's supposed if it is an emergency, how are you going to handle it? These people, they don't, I'm not sure that they are serious of what they are doing.
But let me ask you, did she go to the bank to do it via the counter or like the bank's POS, the bank's ATM?
No, she just went inside the bank and fill
the form.
The transfer form. Up to now. In fact, it's Wema Bank. As I'm talking to you now, she has to go there again this morning. I told her she will take permission from her place of work and go back to the place and waiting for her to whether she has gone or not. So, in such a situation, this one is even inside the bank, or not to talk of the one you are doing from maybe from your
phone or your laptop.
From your phone. So, how do you rectify such problems? There are a lot of issues. They will just stand there, and the issue of even troubling people is there. They don't think about that one. People that go inside the bush to buy market. So you go there to buy either you want to buy oil, you want to buy vegetable, then you begin to do transfer to all those women.
All right.
I don't this kind of situation. They should think about it.
All right. Thank you for calling on the program and sharing your thoughts on the conversation we're having this morning. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. You can also send your WhatsApp message on 0700 903 9039. And we're currently streaming live on YouTube. So if you're watching me right now on the program, you can send your comment and be part of the conversation this morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
And you're calling back.
All right. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, from what I understand about this new policy, it's more of a political movement.
Okay.
You know, by this time, the last time when we heard the election, we heard about a certain person who had to carry $1 billion to his house of cash and all that. So, from what I understand, by February, the election will be coming up, and the first thing the CBN has to do is change the currency.
Okay.
In way of these people who hold money in their houses to bring it out. Now, this is a new policy also restricting the withdrawal of cash. Now, in Lagos, we hear of cases where some politicians come with cash, giving people thousands of naira to vote for them and all that. This policy, I can tell you that that strategy was failed or reduced. So it's more of a political movement.
So don't you think that if that happens, they rather not go to the bank but keep the money in their houses until when they will need to use the money?
What did you say, ma'am?
I said, don't you think that rather than them having to go to the bank to either deposit that huge amount of money or withdraw that money, if they have it in cash, they'll rather keep it in their houses? I'm just saying.
At this point, this new cash the CBN made, the deadline of keeping the old cash will expire maybe by January 10th. And it is not the election. So you having such huge amount of money in your house and you don't want to bring it out to change because you are getting people to notice you're having such amount of money. You should keep it in your house. Okay. At least there are cases of people having stacks of cash in their houses. They want to get rottens and all that. So they should keep it in their houses. I can tell you that this is more of a political reason. If you have such amount of cash in your house and you don't want to bring it out, change it to the new currency, keep it in your house. Keep it in your house, no problem. So we try to understand that these people, they are really sensitive. They know what I'm not a fan of the Buhari government, but few things they have done. It's more of a political movement.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's another perspective to look at it. 0700 903 903 903. I will take one final call so we can wrap up the program. 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call. Mr. Elvis, what do you have to say concerning this before we wrap up? Okay, let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Please, as quick as possible.
Is it?
As quick as possible. We want to wrap up the program. Name and location, please.
Okay. Yeah, best for me to go.
Best. You didn't call yesterday. Why now?
I did call. I tried calling, but I think the line was jump out.
All right, go ahead.
Yes. The policy is cool. It's a welcome policy. Okay. It's a welcome development. But the only thing I found difficult there is, for now, the disadvantage is much more than the advantage because the timing is too close. Okay. The time it should take effect shouldn't be that time that is being precise because look at the election. Election is coming and we will need enough money to stock things at home and want to just definitely. So if you are targeting your policy because of a particular event or a particular era of then it's not a good policy. But many people are saying it's because of the election, because of this. It shouldn't be. Okay. The policy of the nation should not be based on because of a particular event or a particular time. It should be a policy that.
All right, thank you. Thank you. All right, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Mr. Elvis, in a minute, please. Let's wrap up the program.
Yeah, thank you, Esther. I think they all spoke well. Most of the things we should be begging the government to do for us is the network problem has to be, sorted out so that we'll not be having a hanging job not delivered. Then that has to be strengthened network. Then they have to also help us to strengthen this issue of security, because many people are going to be keeping their money at home. So many people will not be able to go and say only 20,000 naira that will not be enough for them to spend in a day. They will not, because of that, banks are going to have some issues. Some of the even bankable Nigerians now will not begin to patronize banks so much because they'll be keeping most of their money at home. So I think they should also think of extending the time so that more people can come in and know more about, understand and understudy what this policy, the advantage and disadvantage of this policy to us before the implementation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Elvis Alimehele, for your intellectual input as usual on the program. My name is Esther Machuku. I'm drawing the curtain on today's edition of Issues in the News. Right tomorrow, we may have to do a rundown of all that was discussed during the week, or possibly something more engaging or interesting may come up where we need to dissect. All right, so you can follow me on social media at Esther Machuku on Twitter, Esther Machuku on Facebook, and Esther Nwaz on Instagram. That's ESTANWAZ. And of course, follow all handles on social media at Voice of the People 90.3 FM. That's VOP 903 FM. Do have yourselves a fantastic Thursday.